Superman Man of Tomorrow issue 9 sees Clark flying Lois to a garnet mine, telling her that if she wanted jewelry so badly, they could have just stopped at the jewelry store. They soon reach the mine and Clark learns Lois was called by a miner who knew her from a previous story on the mine, but when she called, she sounded terrified. Superman and Lois land, finding one of the miners has been injured, attacked by something from within the tunnels that took some of the miners. Superman tells him to stay there, unable to see through the mine since there is too much lead sulfate in the rock. Lois refuses to stay and follows her husband in, and not long after going inside, they are attacked by strange rock creatures. The creatures attack Superman, who finds that they are very strong. He throws them off of him, asking if they can speak, but all he hears is the sounds of pain. Superman needs more room to maneuver, so he smashes a hole out of the cavern, hitting one of the creatures hard enough to shatter the armor on it, revealing a man who pleads for help. Scanning them with his X-ray vision, Superman learns that the miners are inside these creatures, who are using them like puppets. The man says that these things grew over them, as Superman notes that the creature is as hard as granite, but they are some type of fungus. Lois says that if he hits them too hard, he will kill the miners, and Clark already knows this as the miner says that he is really thirsty. Dragging him outside, Superman has a fellow miner throw water on the creature, which dissolves it. Superman anticipated that happening, since he deduced that the creature was finding a living host by bonding to their moisture, and it only attacked him since it couldn't get onto his skin. Lois calls for help as more of the monsters grab her and the remaining miners, so Superman rips one of the water towers off of the site, saying that they need moisture to break the symbiosis. Promising to fix it later, he tips the water tower over the miners, causing the creatures to all dissolve, freeing the miners from their control. In the water, Lois finds a strange device, thinking that it was put in the cave on purpose. Looking it over, Superman can see that it is an Earth tech, and it is transmitting data, but before he can trace who it is from, it soon dissolves as well. Superman, however, has a good idea on who was receiving the data, as elsewhere, Brainiac finds his tests with the Divera fungus were a success, and he will employ them again, although this time not near where water is accessible. He thanks Superman for his help, and soon he plans on visiting his old friend. Later, Brainiac arrives on Earth, hoping to have time to release his experiment, but Superman's Fortress of Solitude picks up the villain's ship incoming, alerting Clark, who rushes to confront Brainiac in the desert. Brainiac knew the hero would come after him after his experiment in the garnet mine. Superman says that Earth isn't his petri dish and his experiments are over. Brainiac says that this might be his last gift, since every trial perfects a force to use against his enemies, and Superman has become predictable because of it. Brainiac reveals that he has released a Kaigora, which soon regrows from its small tube the villain transported it in as it heads towards the nearby airport, since as Brainiac says, the jet fuel from the airport smells like the Kaigora's main prey. The monster rips open a plane, which Superman notes wasn't full of people luckily, but he knows his luck won't last any longer as the monster hits him away, heading towards the ACT tower, which tells all inbound planes to stay in the air. Superman tries to tell the creature to head out into the empty desert as it chomps down on him. Brainiac's hologram appears from one of the devices on the creature, hoping the Kaigora is acclimated to Earth now. Superman tells him to come back and find out, but the villain won't, telling Superman that he is about to witness the creature's evolution, as it will soon undergo cellular replication, and thousands of Kaigora will spawn and flood over the Earth. Released from its mouth, Superman knows one is hard enough to deal with, following the creature as it goes for a departing plane. The monster smashes Superman into the ground as he realizes Brainiac brought it into the desert and not the middle of Metropolis because the creature is a reptile, meaning it needs heat to reproduce since it's cold-blooded. Grabbing the monster, Superman sees its cells beginning to divide, so he flies it high over the desert and the nearby ocean, taking it to the Arctic and dropping it in the snow as the cold-blooded creature goes dormant from the cold. Brainiac's hologram appears, congratulating Superman, but says instead of freezing the creature, he would have just killed it, and Superman will need to eventually do that since Earth is steadily heating up and the ice caps are melting, so he only is delaying the inevitable. Superman says that he will take that under advisement, smashing the device on the monster's body and saying instead he's going to find a way to get the creature home, and while he's out in space, he's going to find Brainiac. Superman Man of Tomorrow issue 9 was a fun two-parter beginning to a possibly longer storyline that saw Superman employ one of my favorite aspects of the character, as he tries to understand what these monsters are and not just immediately attack them on sight because they are monsters. I always enjoyed when writers do that with the hero, and Jeff Parker here has done it really well, as well as setting setting up a cool Brainiac storyline that I can't wait to see more of. Just the use of Brainiac has me excited since it's been a while since we've seen him be a proper Superman villain, mainly because he's technically dead in the main continuity, so I'm looking forward to him actually coming back and fighting against the Man of Steel. I'm gonna give this issue a 9 out of 10.